Performance-based assessments are very essential, and as a part of the Common Core State Standards training, a lot of the discussion as we talk about PARCC and as we talk about the future of assessment in mathematics, we talk about performance-based assessment. Because for the very first time, we will have an assessment for accountability purposes that will be a blend of performance-based assessments as well as some of the traditional items that are constructive response and or multiple choice that students will respond to and that will be scored. So it is important as we are training on Common Core to begin to brace ourselves to be prepared for students to answer those types of questions. We started some of that with providing performance-based assessments and on the PASS assessment, and then also embedded within the Georgia framework. And then as a standing part of all professional learning for the P5 endorsement, for the MSP grant, which was the P5 endorsement embedded in that. And then also with all Common Core State Standards training, this is an embedded part. So performance-based assessments are assessments that are used to promote critical thinking, communication, logical reasoning, and overall understanding of key concepts. Again, going back to the notion that assessments provide an opportunity for a conversation to take place between the teacher and the student. And it's not just about getting the right answer. It's about how the students are, what strategies they're using, and what thought processes and critical thinking skills are they using in order to arrive at their solution. And then also, we will be providing a bank of performance-based assessments that will be provided to us by the Georgia Department of Education. And those assessments will be provided through the online assessment system that can be used during specific units of study starting next year in alignment with Common Core. So that will actually accompany the get maps provided. The navigation series task, as well as Shelton task, as well as exemplars are all provided as well. So that's part of the CTGPS training that's ongoing. And then also, as I indicated earlier, numeracy is a huge part of the elementary mathematics curriculum and even the middle school mathematics curriculum. And if students don't have a solid number sense, then it's very difficult for them to develop an algebraic number sense or an algebraic reasoning, as well as statistical reasoning, as well as geometric reasoning. So numeracy and number sense is a foundational part of the mathematics curriculum. And computational fluency and comprehension of efficient strategies for number computation are the essential concepts that students must master early on. All of these concepts are taught in elementary, middle, and high, and they build on students' development of a solid understanding of number and quantity. Parallel assessments are ongoing throughout the school year to assess mastery of standards taught. So it's important to know that there are different purposes for different assessments that are being provided, and that assessments are an ongoing natural part of the classroom environment. Currently, there is not a systemic district-wide assessment of strategy development and comprehension of number and quantity. So some schools are actually using a very useful tool that allows teachers to have a laser-like focus on comprehension in mathematics. So we want to expand this tool to be used by all teachers. We don't want to have a situation where there are some schools that are not necessarily focusing on comprehension and others that are not. So our goal within the next several months is to equip teachers with the knowledge they need and with the resources that they need in order to be able to have a laser-like focus on comprehension in mathematics. Something we know is that memorization without comprehension does not guarantee understanding. However, comprehension without memorization does guarantee understanding. So our focus is to make sure that students are understanding how mathematics works, and so our focus is specifically on comprehension in mathematics. So how do teachers actually assess strategy development and comprehension in mathematics? Well, there's an excellent tool that helps to meet those needs, and the best part is it is absolutely free. So we want to provide this information for all teachers throughout our district in order to ensure that they are prepared for Common Core State Standards and that they are preparing students to be efficient with strategies in computation. So now I'm going to turn it over to Lee Sneed, who is the Special Education Instructional Coordinator, who also works with mathematics.
Thank you, Leah. Okay, so we're talking about doing student-centered assessment tools. And the ones that we're going to be adding to our assessment toolbox, the first one's called, the abbreviation is GLOSS, and that stands for Global Strategy Stage Assessment. And what it is used for is to assess and to identify the strategy stages that students are currently working or operating on across 3 different domains. The second one is referred to as IKAN or ICAN, and that stands for Individual Knowledge Assessment for Numeracy. And it is used to assess students' knowledge stages that they are operating on across 5 domains. Now, okay, you may be asking what actual Common Core standards does the GLOSS and the ICAN actually assess? Well, in kindergarten, you can see on the slide, it looks at the domains of counting and cardinality, and also for all of the grade levels through 4th grade, operations and algebraic thinking, and then for all of the grade levels, it looks at numbers and operations base 10, and then beginning in 3rd grade through 5th grade, it also looks at areas of number and operation and fractions. Okay, so here's what we're going to do first. In order to prepare for using the assessment tools in the fall of the year, fall of 2012, because the goal is to go for full implementation in 2012, there will be provided various professional learning opportunities this spring. There's at least 2 or 3 opportunities per grade level. I think there's 3 for K1 and 2, and 2 different options for grades 3, 4, and 5. We're going to be administering the GLOSS at least 3 times each school year, starting in the fall of the next school year. For students scoring at strategy stage 4 or higher on the GLOSS, the ICAN will also be administered. This will only take about 5 to 10 minutes per student. And I know this is going to be a lot of work to gather this information, but it's really going to help us to know where the children are working at as far as their strategy stages. Teachers will be maintaining a running record of assessment data collected through the administration of GLOSS and ICAN, and teachers will utilize number talks as a tool to help students develop efficient number and computation strategies. You may be asking, what about 4th and 5th graders? Well, these 2 tools are actually appropriate assessment tools that go all the way through the middle school grade levels, especially for those students that are struggling. If you have students that are in 4th and 5th grade level that have never completed the GLOSS and the ICAN assessments, then you should begin the assessment at least at the beginning of stage 3, but you'll be finding out more information about that through the professional learning that we're going to be giving in the spring of the year. Then what happens between the assessments? Teachers will be using something called number talks routinely every day as part of their lessons. Each of the schools have been given a minimum at least of 2 books about number talks, and with those books, there are discs. So each of the schools have been provided with 2 minimally books on number talks for you to use. What is a number talk? Well, it's a 5 to 15 minute conversation about computation problems. What happens is the teacher facilitates either in small groups or individually in the classroom talks about math and encourages students to share their thinking. And through this, the teacher can determine what critical thinking stage or skills and strategies that the students are using. By using number talks as part of the routine, it's an effective way for teachers to follow students' thinking and then pose the right questions to build further understanding. It also promotes student accountability for their own learning and their own strategy development. It encourages students to collaborate and share effective strategies with each other. And it develops grade-level specific thinking strategies for the 4 operations. The number talks will support teachers in building math and computational strategies. And again, each school has this resource with the disc in the professional learning section of the Media Center.